Dear students, I welcome you all for another video session on VHDL code for simple counter. Okay, how to write the VHDL code for the simple counter. Students, we have seen VHDL code for many of the sequential counters, many of the sequential devices like flip-flops. So let us see how to write the code for the counter. Okay. So we know that counter is a basic element which is basically used to count. Okay, it counts the rising edge, it counts the falling edge and the numbers of cycles completed, right? So I shall take a simple operation of a counter and write the VHDL code. So let's begin. So let us start, as we know that library IEEE. Okay, so let us use our inbuilt function to call the inbuilt function. So std logic 1164 all. So entity will be our test counters. Okay, so let me declare the port. So clock is my input, reset, so I'll write this as input std logic, and count out is my output. Count out is my output that I am assigning. Okay, so here vector 3 down to 0 I'm using, that is my count is assigned as a vector starting from 0 to 3. That means this is a 4-bit counter, right? Because the vector is being given as 3 down to 0. Okay, so let me end the declaration of my inputs and output test counter. Okay, so next is architecture behavioral, right? Architecture behavioral of test counter is, dear students, I am assigning a signal here like how we usually assign for flip-flops. I am assigning a signal temp which I am giving as standard logic vector again counting from 3 down to 0. So let me begin the process. So we know that the process has to begin with the help of the clock, right? So let me begin the process. So if reset is 1, so I'm supposed to write this as RST because I've given it as RST. If reset is 1, then count, my count out, that is which I've assigned as output, my count output will be equal to 0, 0, 0, 0, right? Dear students, what does that mean? That means when reset is enabled, right, my count out is going to be equal to 0. So whenever is my reset enabled, my counter output will be at 0, 0, 0, 0, right? So my temp is also assigned to be as 0, 0, 0, 0, the same signal, right? Else in the sense, if my reset is not enabled, then what happens? Then my temp starts counting, right? So it is temp plus 1, right? Then end F. So dear students, so we came to know that, okay, when the temp is, counting, the counter starts counting from 3 down to 0, right? So I'm ending this. Then my counter out will be equal to my temp. So this will end my process and end behavioral. Dear students, so here nothing much, as I told you, a simple counter is being taken. So it is counting, right? And we have assigned the vector from 3 down to 0. So the process begins with the clock, and with the conditions when reset is enabled, the counter output is at 0 and the temp signal is at 0. Else, if the reset is disabled, then what happens? The temp increases, the count starts and it ends the count, and at your output, when the counter starts counting, right, from 0 to 3. That ends our process. Dear students, hope you have understood the basic simple VHDL code on counters. If for any doubts, you can revert back to me. Thank you.